What's the motivation to reclassify people?
The reclassification removes you from your original place on the land. Because the land is where the value is. My grandpa told me if you take care of the land will take care of you. See what I'm saying? So they reclassified you. That way they could claim the land. See what I just told you? If you are not who you're supposed to be, then somebody else can come in and be you. So they reclassified you. That removes you from your land, detribalize you, which removes you from your people, which separates you from your heritage. They give you a false culture. And after so many generations, it's ingrained into everybody, and they done forgot exactly where they started from.
Is that what the term urban Indian come from?
Urban Indians, you got to understand that the federal government had the program running till, I do believe, 1976 or so, where the objective was to move Indians into the urban centers to provide them with jobs and all the other little accoutrements that they was offering to the black folks when they were trying to get them to come out of Mississippi and go north to work in the factories. Remember, you had a whole migration, exodus from down south into the cities up north. And this is where your re-education come in. Because now, all of a sudden, you got people telling you, you ain't Indian, you Hebrew, or you Muslim, or you several African. They just give you any kind of classification they want to. And then after you ingrain that stuff in yourself and ingrain it into your kids, then it becomes the thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I remember when calling somebody black was a guaranteed way to get into a hell of a fight. Now you look up, everybody's black. You gotta wonder why that is. Because see, every time they reclassify you, not only do they remove you from your place and allow somebody else to come in and take your place, they also remove you from your heritage, your traditions. And it's this removal from your heritage and your traditions that do us damage.
Kill us off.
See, it's just that way. You don't know, you feel like you don't know who you are. Let these people tell it, you just some unnamed African that you can't even show where African come from. Get in your genealogy. And you're going to have a hard time finding this African, especially if you was in Florida. See? But now, as we sit here today, they look at you and say you're an African American. Well, every time they do that, they allow a bigger group of people to come in. See, when you was Indians, you could just be with the Indians. And they turn you into Negroes. Well, now this let in the European son. See what I'm saying? And then they turn you into colored folks. Well, that lets in a bigger group of people. So you move 2-3 steps away from your Indianness already. And it's just by classification. But what you get to seeing is more people coming into that group, that specific group, and diluting the group. See what I'm saying? So now you African American. Fuck, Elon Musk is African American. So what is they really telling you when they tell you this? See, that's another form of reclassification. Now they, instead of reclassifying you from being on your land as an Indian, they reclassified you to being an African from somewhere across the water. So they done completely got rid of your your Indianness and replaced it with something else. This is what reclassification does for you. See, if you were still an Indian, then you still had your claim to your land, your ancestral land. Now you out here pretending to be an African American, and these other folks is over here claiming to be the Indians and taking the stuff that was supposed to be for you, that your ancestors left you. See what I'm saying? And using it for their benefit. Now they greedy. So they don't want to let you get no parts of what was supposed to be yours. It's an all or nothing deal. So they took it all and left you nothing. You see what I'm saying? And then when you complain about not having nothing, they reclassify you into something else and tell you, okay, well, you'll be better like this. the question still remains that Seminoles didn't own no slaves. See? And in America, some kind of way, I don't know how the hell this happened, the word slave became synonymous with Africans. When the Africans was actually the smallest number of slaves that got sent here to this country. But now they say slave, they automatically assume African. 300,000, maybe Africans came over here. I question that number every day because I see it fluctuate up and down. You see what I'm saying? When I was, hell, I've heard estimates all the way up to 15 million Africans came over here. But you can't document 15 million Africans coming over here. And most of the people running around here now can't find an African in their family. If they people been here for a while.
But it all goes back to the treaty. You know, they try to misinterpret the treaty. 1866 Treaty, Article 2, last paragraph, says no matter what race, color, or creed, everyone is treated equally and shall have all benefits as a Native American of that said tribe. That's word for word. You know, it doesn't take a fifth grader to understand that. But they push that out. They pick and choose what they want in the treaty.
Answer, you know, what is the most external pressure facing the Black Seminole issue today?
Full citizenship in our nation. Second-class citizen is over with. We want full citizenship because we are treaty people. That is the most pressing thing for our people today. If we gain full citizenship, total acceptance in this tribe, and our seat at that table, for sure, without them giving innuendos of putting us out, kicking us out, doing all these derogatory things. You know, we can take you to the whipping tree. We can we'll drop you off one of these bluffs out here. You keep on running your mouth. And these are the things that you hear, calling you wagas, which is cow, and calling you niggas at the same time. While we're talking, or up speaking, trying to get something done. This is a total unprofessional move in our nation we're fighting ourselves. We're not fighting the right enemy. If we're going to fight the enemy, we need to be turning that around and go toward the U.S. and say, we want more things. You've been giving us this all this time, give us some more. Instead, they don't want to hear from us. They want our ideas. Why do you think we sit on the council? Because you know we're not going to sit there and be quiet. At least I'm not. I'm going to bust out and say, well, you need to be doing the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then they'll say, oh, you hush. I already got that under control. Yeah, because now you're going to go back and do it yourself. Because you just heard it from somebody. So, because you ain't been doing it.
Right.
But you shouldn't turn it in on what you call a black person that sits on your council. What you call a nappy head that sits on your council. You see, you shouldn't turn and try to fight me. Because you've been robbing me and my family for over 40 years. And we have not went anywhere. That lets you know one thing about us. We belong here. Where you belong. And that's my question to the Seminole Nation. Where do you belong since you can't get along with all of us? It's totally ungodly. So this is the biggest pressing issue. Every face that I deal with, everybody that me and Mr. Connie talk to or come and encounter, is they want their full citizenship.
How'd y'all get here?
Well, coming into it now is really kind of chaos because there's a lot of racism going on. And it's kind of being divided. If you don't look like them, they don't want you in the tribe. So they have went to the alternatives to rename us in the tribe, changing the Constitution from being council representative members to just representatives. Okay, so then they call themselves tribal members, and then they call us citizens, which our card says 00 blood, and when you flip it over to the back, it says benefits only. Which I just had a lady call me from Florida that had an issue that she tried to go and get health care in California. And the clinic there didn't want to do it because they said on the back of your card it says voting privileges only. Which that's not true. We do get medical now because the government gave it to us because they refused to give us COVID shots, which we lost a big percentage of Black Seminoles during the COVID because they refused to give them a shot, which the government gave them. So they sat around and we have to go to council meetings and be humiliated. You know, you have to be strong and sit on that council because they don't hold their tongue. They let us know, y'all was our slaves. Y'all don't deserve nothing. You know, y'all should be happy that you get to sit on this council and vote. We don't get the housing. You know, I wish I took some pictures of how they live, how some of our people live, but they can't get no assistance. They can't get no social service. They can't get no help with electric bills, heating, none of that. There's some of them still living without wells, you know, don't have running water. But they have a program that the government gave them millions of dollars. And they went and put all their tribal members and put new wells and sewage systems and things and stuff like that. And we got people that has to do with that. And that's depressing.